Revelation 2735. From the 12th of May 1943. Grace of embodiment as a human being. Very few people are aware that earthly life is a grace for them and that they must make use of this grace, otherwise they will not respect grace and will lose many blessings. But they cannot excuse themselves with ignorance and must therefore answer for disregarding grace. It is presented to every person, and every person can use his intellect and think about what is presented to him, and with an earnest will for good and right he will also have the right thoughts about his purpose of earthly life. But his will is free and he can also reject the right thoughts, only he has to answer for this wrong will. The grace of embodiment on earth is the conclusion of an infinitely long period of development of the soul. Life on earth is very short compared to this long period of development before, and yet it is decisive for the whole of eternity. Earthly life is a grace, for God gives people the opportunity to throw off every shackle and become completely free, and He gives the weak human being every conceivable means to achieve this goal. And this grace is not recognized and therefore not valued as grace, as a gift which God's love bestows upon His living creations in order to lead them to the light out of the night of the Spirit. People pass by the graces indifferently. They live their lives, but in a very wrong way. They desire what they should overcome, and they disregard what they should strive for, and therefore they cannot mature, but they come to a standstill in their development, if they do not even develop regressively. And the infinitely long earthly progress before was in vain, and the grace of embodiment as a human being did not earn him any progress, otherwise he would thank God beyond measure that he received earthly life from him. Only the one who acknowledges it as grace will be able to make use of this grace and achieve success for the soul. Life in eternity cannot yet be presented to the human being, otherwise free will would be in danger of becoming unfree. He shall develop upwards completely without constraint, and countless possibilities, countless aids are at his disposal which are all graced to make his earthly life easier for him. God, in His greater than great love, bestows all these favors upon people. Yet the greatest grace is that the soul was allowed to embody itself in the human being, that it is offered all opportunities, that it now has the opportunity through this embodiment to be able to join God, that it is constantly looked after by beings of light which can help it to reach the goal. But if it ignores this great grace, it will lose other blessings again and live its earthly life in vain, that is, it will not pursue the only goal, the union with God. It only lives its earthly life, uses the inflowing life energy for it and completely ignores its soul. And thus it abuses the grace of embodiment and therefore has to answer to God. Amen.